Good morning. Welcome to another feature of Saturday Morning Runnings, aired live Saturdays at 10 a.m. I am your host, Lady D. Denise Gomez, producer of Inside the Zone. Inside the Zone is aired Mondays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., and Thursdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Linkage Radio in Mount Vernon, New York. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel. This week's topic: Who Dropped the Ball? Part 2. Let's talk money. In part 1 of Who Dropped the Ball, we concluded that our messaging is skewed and urgent attention needs to be given to increase awareness of financial literacy and personal development. Here is the big question: Parents, are you teaching your children sound money management skills? Donna Ferguson's pragmatic approach to proper money management will have you glued to your devices and eagerly ready to take notes on your slates, your notepads, and easels. And let's talk money. A Saturday morning runnings, come make we talk. We extend special welcome to our guest, Donna Ferguson, financial specialist. The crew on board are Maxine, Max Spoiled Lions, Jackie Brainbox Tyson, Shernet Sharns, the Conscious One, Mignot Brown, and Jen will be joining us in a few minutes. It's a good Saturday. It's Saturday morning. Morning, everyone. Morning, morning. Everybody looking nice and fresh this morning. All who got to bed late and still wake
That's
up.
a disguise.
Right?
Right?
There is something for that. There is maybe carbolic, you know, but whatever. But
No,
guys have been
carbolic.
here.
I'm much in the blue
Oh, if it's the blue
You know, I just bought a carbolic soap this week.
well, you know, something going on with you and I this
Yeah,
morning.
I'm telling you. I was in a store. I ran in. What's that, Max? What is it,
Telepath.
I
Max?
said it's telepathy, you're all communicating.
It got to be. It's
Spiritually.
so funny. I ran into the store to get an item, and while standing up waiting for the person in front of me to get their transaction finished, I glanced over to my left and I saw, because I think I smelled them because I really love the smell.
Mm-hmm.
And I glanced over and I saw them and I said, you know what? Let me buy one just in case, because I know you have some bootleg ones. It's not the real thing. And I bought one and it is really good.
There you go. So
Yeah,
I'm not off base
Okay.
here at all.
No, you're right on target.
More
Yeah,
so Donna and I were talking a few minutes ago about weather. So we pulled up. We are 9 in the Bronx and she is 10 where she is.
Right.
Well,
Oh,
So see there now.
wow. That's a big one.
So no,
I'm
no,
telling
one
the
tell
truth.
me.
I'm
Max,
33.
you're
You're 33.
What's
I'm
that?
34 to 10 now, no, no. I'm
So you're
33. Yeah.
experiencing summer.
yeah, summer.
You're what? You want Mark 23?
Yes, right. Comparing to 9.
It's very windy here in Florida. It's very windy this morning.
33.
Oh, okay.
We'll
It's
see.
very windy here.
Mhm.
And we're right next to the lake, and sometimes the water, like the mist, like a mist and water just comes like halfway, like it's coming towards us. It comes halfway on the lake and then it goes right back.
Oh, okay.
So,
We'll see.
but it's a really misty, gloomy day and very windy. It's 72 degrees.
It's beautiful outside. That's why once I came up to the States and talking to a gentleman, his parents had filed for his siblings and himself. So, you know, he in the winter, so he was saying, oh, he might go outside, put on, because they're from Haiti, put on short sleeve. So the mother is saying, where are you going? It outside. She said, you cannot go outside. It's cold. No, it's not cold. She
Because
said, all
it
right,
looked
go
bright and
on.
pretty.
You know, the Asian mother, she said, go on.
Because it's sunny.
As him open the door though. He must be bold back it.
Yeah, because it can be very deceiving. Like when you
Yeah.
look outside and the sun is shining so bright,
Mhm.
it's
And
deceiving.
get a mood awakening.
Yes, it is.
There you go.
Rude awakening.
So we would like
I'm
to.
warming up with my chocolate tea.
Oh, you have your chocolate. Okay.
Chocolate tea and my flitters.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah,
It's about the ghost training.
Okay. With your saltfish.
Saltfish flitters.
There you go.
Okay.
Can
you
be
know
no
the
other
funny
way.
thing is, I had some vegan fritters. So, cause there's a vegan store beside me. Would you
Okay.
believe that the vegan fritters taste just as if it's
Mhm.
salted in it? And I'm trying to figure
Yes.
how does
I
it get
eat
to
vegan
taste
food.
like that though? I'm wondering
Mhm.
if they boil it, they use the salt water off of the saltfish.
For flavoring.
Then put the flavor.
And maybe not, maybe not. Let me tell you, the grace as a fritters, when you fry it, even without codfish, it tastes as if it's as codfish because they make it up so
Oh, okay.
nicely.
Because
If you
I
ever
couldn't
try the
understand.
grace fritter mix.
Mhm.
Even the
Oh, yeah,
apples,
they have the
it's
mix.
like
Yeah.
saltfish is in it too. So go figure.
Go
Mhm.
figure. Indeed. Welcome, everyone. It is now 10 minutes after 10 o'clock. Usually we have to have our little wrap session before we get into our topic. We'd like to welcome you. It's a beautiful Saturday. I'm not sure where you are viewing us from for most of you, but we welcome you and I hope you're good. If you don't have breakfast yet, Max maybe have some breakfast for you, either hominy or something going on, so you can get
Oh,
some
yes.
afterwards.
Or
But
I can leave to the flitters food.
right? But it's Who Dropped the Ball Part 2. Let's talk money. After we had our discussion last week, it was so interesting. And the areas that we delved into, we started off with one portion of it, then we just transitioned. Then at the time when we were wrapping up, we thought, there could be a part 2. And the money aspect came up. And so here we are talking, let's talk money. Let's
Mhm.
acknowledge our viewers and then we'll get the segment started. Want to welcome King. King was first in line this morning. So he said
All right. King got a star.
school call.
School call.
Class about to
School call.
start.
Yes.
Charles is here. Viola. Morning, Charlesy. Welcome, welcome. And Vero is here as always. Thank you, Ver. And who else is here? Our girl is here, bewildered.
Bewildered.
Morning, Aldit. We're bewildered girl. Andrea is here.
Morning.
Carol. Hey, Carol, morning. Everybody, we're going to get out your slates and stuff because we're going to take notes. And Donna, take out your slate.
No, sir.
Donna is going
Yes,
to
that's
share
right.
some tidbits with us this morning. And as always, it's an interactive platform. A lot of us, we've heard about the saving the money under the mattress.
Mhm.
We've seen our parents do it, our grandparents, and even great grand do it. And sometimes we know that there were some little people under the mattress who would take a hold,
No.
who would
Cipher.
take,
No, sir.
yeah, and they would have their own experience under there.
Mhm.
So, or they will tell you that they bury it in the earth, and we all know how that go.
Mhm.
Rainfall,
My grandmother was smart.
the
She had
earth
a thread bag.
saturate. Mhm.
She had a thread bag and she tied it onto her brassiere.
We'll see it then, right?
But can't get that.
Can't beat
Push
that.
it underneath her breast.
But
Finish.
we know the importance of money in terms of how we earn, spend, invest, etc. Some of us didn't get that lesson at all. It missed us. And I will tell you, as I mentioned before, I remember at primary school, they gave me my little bank book. And
Mhm.
so you started right there. However, I do recall I would also wash my Uncle Lloyd car. And I could have be a good businesswoman in that business. I can wash a car.
Oh,
And
yes.
yes, but as I was learning all these trades,
You don't fail to surprise me, Lady D.
no, Mrs. Um,
You don't fail at all.
the 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 tutoring aspect of it about, so when Brother Lloyd give you the money and you either put it in the little book or you put it in your pan, it is not for you to run down to Mr. Osborne's shop to buy Shirley biscuit and
Sweetie.
cherry
Cola
malt.
or sweetie. Mhm.
Sure, Mom.
Eh? So I would take the money and run down a penny shop and buy, and I love Shirley even to this day.
Me
So there
too.
are
Have
certain
it in my
things
house right now.
we missed because they too didn't know. And that's
Mhm.
why it's so good to have a person with that knowledge and expertise to help us. Because
Yeah.
I can vouch for Donna, me two hand up. Donna is a master at this thing, even on Thursday, God. So I can, I can, I can tell you. Some things go over your head, and you try to absorb. But if you not absorb it enough, you're going to need reinforcement. And
Mhm.
you can't say, "Oh, me should have known and beat myself in the head."
Right.
You really need reinforcement. So, Donna, here we are with you this morning, and we just talk because you seem to really enjoy what you do and you like figures, or is either that you like to help people like it, whichever one it is. How you start, and then we can just flow with you because there must have been some kind of foundation that you got. Well, that's what I think
Mhm.
while you're here today.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
thank everyone for allowing me to be on this platform. As Lady D said, is it because I love figures or is that I love helping people? I think it's more that I like helping people. Because I think it's from a small age and we were going back to childhood. I just really believe that intergenerational discussion is important because there's a lot of things that we see our parents do and they, how should I say, they do business or they keep their household based on what they have. You talk about some people just don't know. It's just you use the tools that you are given in order to make decisions. It's not bad. And so we need to have these generational discussion with our children so that they can understand. And then we as adults can learn from what is going on with our children even now, because it's a different time in terms of what we used to do to make sure we have savings, emergency, investment is different from what they do. And we can both learn from each other to the point where you even can grasp new information to make better decisions, even though you might say, oh, I'm old now, what am I going to do now? No, there's always a time where you can learn something and put it in practice. So
Mhm.
where my foundation is, just a note, I've been in financial business for over 30 something years. Um, Most of my background is always about money. And again, it's not that because I love figure. It just seems to where I enjoy just imparting information to
Mhm.
individuals.
Yeah, yeah. And as you are saying all of that now, I know there are people who are watching us and saying, my goodness, imagine the time when I had earned, say a significant sum, which is relative.
Mhm.
Because if you had $5 and you get 20 more, that's 20 you never had. What could
Right.
I have done with the 20? you know and so we don't know how to manage our money. We use the term budget. Most of us here talk about budget, and a lot of times we start out good. It's like, in January come, you say, yes, I'm gonna do this and do that, and then by you reach February,
Resolution get a blow.
Exactly. But Denise, okay, as frugal, or old-fashioned as it might seem, you talk about the mattress, and you talk, we have the susu, and we have the, what should I say, the savings. The mattress is the one where, if you think about money,
The partner, for those who don't know Susu.
Huh?
The partner, for those who don't know Susu.
So the partner, yes. So it's
Partner.
how quickly you can get to the money. And it's the same way even when you move it into the 22nd, 23rd century, or 21st century, 22nd century. It's the same thing. It's how quick you can access the money. If you're under the mattress, you can pull it out quick. If in the susu, you can't get it quickly, you have to wait your turn. And if in the bank, it's easy, but you refrain sometimes from going to the bank. Now, if you fast forward where we are now, you have money in your checking, in your savings, but you make sure the savings sometimes, if you're not disciplined enough, you put it in a bank far away. So
Right.
you can get to it. Or you put money in investments. So some investments, you know that if you touch it, there's gonna be a penalty or a fee or something.
Correct.
Yeah, right. Or some stuff like in a retirement, you know you're saving for your future. So you put it in somewhere that if you touch it, not only are you going to get a penalty, but IRS is going to come for you too. So it is the same concept, it's just a different era.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
you know, so
And to
like,
add,
go ahead, Jack.
no, to add something, as primitive as it may seem and as old as it may seem, believe it or not, my grandmother used to operate a partner. She was a very good, money manager, I would say. She had no clue of all the intricacies of accounting and all of that. But the thing is, she could budget $1. That dollar could stretch as far as you could think of. I don't know how she do it. But that's where I got my first lesson in saving and how to manage money. Because when when she gets her money, I didn't think they had a proper bank account at that time. But she would have a little book and everything would be written in the book. And when she goes to the market, whatever she purchased or whatever she sold, everything was recorded. And little did she know that I didn't even know then that was accounting. She was accounting for her money. And she would say, you count this and you count that. And you add up this and add up that. And you're supposed to get this. You're supposed to get that. And while she probably in the kitchen cooking, and when she finished, she check it to make sure that whatever there was checks and balances. And she also was a seamstress, so that every little thing went in that little book. It wasn't even ruled up properly, but everything I think had a page, and this must add up to that, and you can't use so much of this because of if you got a doctor and this, I may have to take the bus or to go to St. Anne's Bay, and that kind of stuff. She was very good at, and that's where I learned to manage my money. That's where I got my first lesson.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And as Jackie is saying, it's like you said, lesson. That's your first lesson. What we have to remember, a child is always going to practice what they see and hear. We might not believe it, it's like, but the repetitivity of what we do is what they're going to follow. And you'll find that the things that your parents do is what you'll find yourself doing. So if, as I say, you drop the ball, they're not going to know. So they will also, it's not that they won't make money. They will make money, but the management of it, they will lose it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where those lessons come in.
Yeah.
And if I may chime in here, I grew up with my grandmother, as Jackie mentioned, and she too did partnering, when this is the people throw partner in the district. And my grandmother could not read nor write, but she could check numbers. She was very good at it too, probably better than me. And I used to do the writing on her behalf too. But before we get to all of it, I remember as a child growing up, when my aunts and uncles came from Kingston, because we were living in St. Mary at the time, I was only a child. And they give me 10 cents or 5 cents, because back then 10 cents was like a lot of money.
Mhm.
I never had an official piggy bank or official savings fund, so I made my own. A man was made out of a milk tin. Yes. When they cut up the milk tin and they cut the two sides, I would force that 10 cents in that milk tin, wash it out and put it in and save it, or in the Milo tin. But at the time, I preferred the milk tin because with the milk tin, you couldn't get the money out so easy. With the Milo tin, you could just open it up and take it out.
Yes.
And I would save all those 5 and 10 cents. Believe me, I was disciplined then, more
Uh-huh.
than I am now with money. I would save those 10 cents and 5 cents. And what I would do, because this was like during the summertime, and when close to school opening, I would open it up, give it to my grandmother, because my grandmother did ignoring, and I would give it to her and say, okay, mom, buy me exercise book, buy me hardcover book, whatever I needed, pencil, pen, geometry, set. I remember saving enough that I could buy my own school bag. And for me, it was a big deal. And nobody ever boasted like me with that school bag, because I knew back then that that school bag was my personal money that I
That was
saved.
me.
So I felt really good about it. Another thing I recall too is that I had two cousins who were living with us at the time when I was in more younger years. And their mother and father was in England, but my grandmother grew them up. And they would send money for them. And every time that their parents sent money, my grandmother would open post office bank account in the post office for them with both their names on it. And when the parents were ready to take them to England, to file for them to come to England, to go to England to live, that money that was saved in the post office came out to pay taxi fee to take them to the airport.
Mhm.
They had enough
Mhm.
money that they could buy them stuff.
See there
So
now.
she was really here, and I learned from all of that. Even though I still have a piggy bank and my husband have one, and we put coins in it.
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
we still
Oh,
do.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
What you learn, you carry throughout life, as Donna just
Yes.
mentioned.
that's true.
Those are the things,
Welcome.
but they're big things.
Yes, it's 25 minutes after 10 o'clock. You're tuned into Saturday morning runnings. Welcome, everyone. We'd like to welcome Jen to the show this
Hi,
morning.
Jen.
Hi,
Jen,
Jen.
you're looking great.
Hi, Jen.
Trust you had a good week.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Special morning to Ryan. He's bigging me up. I I learned late in savings. I learned very late. I'm still learning because I was not a saver person. I get my lunch money, I take it and buy candy and all those things. Anything that I was not able to get at home, I buy it on the road. So, and that is how sometimes people have friends because they tend to you buy a candy and the friends them know say you have money for buy candy. They all bungle around and you are their friend. So you're always, you know, known as the person who giving candy or whatever or whatever you buy, you can share it with somebody. But I remember at school they had a saving account and they usually open up saving for the kids and even a quarter or $1 or whatever. And I know people talk about having it today. Children, our teenagers or children today, they are given things so willingly. Grandmother give them, mother give them, father give them. So they don't tend to think about saving anything because if they don't have money, can I get a $10? Can I get a $20? They don't know that they can take the $20 and cut it in half and put up the 10 and use the 10. But I usually be because they call me the wash belly. I was the last child, so I was always getting, mommy always give me things. Daddy always, and so forth. So I never really think about like, oh, I can put up something for rainy day because I thought mommy and daddy will be around all the time taking care of me, and it don't go like that. So I learned later on, even telling people how to save. If you have 200, if you get paid $200 a week, if you get $200 a week, and your rent is say $50, you can put up a 50, and I do that, and I said you add on that money on the next pay, and you have $250, and that is what I keep telling people now. And I said, look at me, never knew how to put away the rainy day money. Can tell people how to put away rainy day money now. You understand me? So I wasn't a big saver in the beginning, and I understand children. They are the product of what they learn, as you said before. The
Mhm.
guest. Um, their product. So if your parents didn't teach you and always giving you, you're not gonna know if you put up the money. You're going to
Right.
spend the money because you
Mhm.
always, and it's name brand. Everybody want name brand. If you don't wear name brand, you're nobody. So they want these $600 sneakers. They're gonna save to buy that $600 sneakers, and it just wear and then throw down. So as I said before, honestly, I didn't know about money management very well. So taking it now, I am just starting to learn.
All right, thanks for sharing, Jen. Morning, everyone. Want to say hi, and then Donna, you can start sharing some tips. And Sharon's, what I need to hear your story. If you
Okay.
have
Well,
so give me 1 second, Sharon. So let's say a quick hi to Pastor Glad. Morning, Pastor Glad is on with us, and Parker is here to Donna. Morning, Parks. Last week she came in a little late. I'll not say how much late it was. Morning, Parker. Morning, Christine. And Herman. Today's Herman's birthday.
wow.
Oh, happy birthday,
Happy
Herman.
birthday, Herman. I'm a birthday, so just a wake up.
Happy birthday, Herman.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Herman.
birthday, Herb. My older sister birthday was yesterday, and I was saying it's a cool day for a birthday because it was 2/3/23. So it was 2/3/23 yesterday.
Nice,
My
nice.
And
brother's birthday too.
Right. So,
yesterday?
Yeah, actually, he
Wow.
has two birthdays, yesterday and
Serious.
today.
no, I'm born on one and
That's another,
working on the other.
that's another story. That's another day's story.
Well, we have to go do a birthday show.
That's right.
And there's some very interesting things around birthdays, and some people end up with two. So I,
Mhm.
I can understand to a point. Yeah, but with me, I started off with thrift club at school. Every Monday morning I would get money to put in my thrift club account. And
Mm-hmm.
my grandparents, I ran the household finances fully from I was about, I would say, 13, 14, because I was the youngest of all the grandchildren that they raised. And by the time I got to like second form in high school, my older cousins had, they had matured and gone on their own. Some of them it was four of us. So two of them one of them had gone on her own. The other two, their dad had taken them here. And so it was just me. And
Mhm.
my grandparents, they when they took me as a baby, they were already people not working. They were subsistence farmers for the most part, but their children were all abroad. And I had four uncles and my mom, and they sent money home in rotation. So every week, money would be coming from one or the other of them, and that's how my grandparents lived. So from a very early age, I was taught how to manage all that money. My grandmother always tell me, don't spend it off. And they trusted me 100% because I would go to the post office, and my uncle and one of the two uncles in London, they used to send money, and the money looked something like a money order, but it was pounds.
Mhm.
And I was whenever I went and got the mail, or sometimes the post office would send and say, I've registered mail, come get it. Miss Cooley, come, somebody send a message to Miss Cooley. Them days it was, easier days. And I would go get it, and she would have me come into like a back door to the back and open it up, and I would take out the pounds, and she would cash them right there, and she would tie them up, and I had to wear a full slip, and she tied it on the slip strap, and she said, go straight home. And I would walk home to my grandmother with it. And all their banking, I did all their banking. So I had to be very careful with money. I was never a spendthrift. I never treated friends to stuff, because my grandmother always tell me, look, in case time there see a meal can come, or one of me put, have it to send, we have to have something to rock back on. So she always cautioned me to put away money so I wouldn't just get it and spend it. And I mean, I used to get an allowance. So I was good, because I would get allowance from my mother, I would get allowance from all my uncles. And so I would have a steady stream of money coming in. And
Mhm.
they were all very grateful that I was, taking care of the grandparent of their parents. So they would literally like send me. I was getting, pounds and US dollars and all that stuff, but I made sure that I put them in my thrift club. And then when I got to and it's so funny. I had all that money in thrift club, and when they would give it, then you would have to take it home and put it down. So after a while, I had to open an account in the bank. And I was a young kid. I was a very young kid. I used to be on minibuses coming from Kingston with untold amount of money, tie on for me slip because my mother would send me
Oh,
down.
Jesus. Do that now,
Yeah,
now?
little picnic, yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
I would be coming from Kingston, and she would put it near my arm so me can have to feel it every minute, so make sure it not drop off. Because I was very skinny, and they would tie it up, and I would go back to my bed, with it, because I had to get money for my school books and to pay for uniforms, and I would have to have lunch money. So I learned to budget very early because I know that the money would come at intervals, but I was always prepared in the event something happened and nothing not come. You
Mhm.
had something to wrap back on. And one thing my grandmother always taught me, she always said, when you get older, you get married, you must have your contention not. So you're not applying money for yourself in case
Money.
your husband and you have anything, less destitute. And she had a thing where she would make a thread bag, and you would regularly put money in it. You would pay yourself from whatever the household finance budget was. You would put a certain amount in. And she said that amount different from what's in the bank. You keep that if contention. So that you put in the pillow. She said you put that in your, there's a whole family secret me I let out right as now. But she said put it in your pillow. You have your fluffy pillow, you put it in the pillow. She say at night you go to your bed, knock your pillow, make sure you feel the knot. Pretend you fluff in your pillow, put your head down on it and go to bed, go sleep. Because you have your little knot and you keep adding to the knot. So she taught me little things,
Right.
and
No,
when
And
you
that's
sir.
get,
good. That's good.
yeah,
That's
and
good.
then
That's
when
good.
you get to a certain
Yes.
age, they would take you to the bank and open an account. And I did the same with my children. When they turned 5, I take them to the bank and I open an account and I put their name in it and leave it. And back in the day was passbook, because my daughter, when she turned 5, way back in the day, I think it was First Federal, the bank was, and I took her there and put her little money in it. And by the time she got to college, she was able to get money, and then they could give her a card at the time, because back in the day there was no, you only had your passbook. And then
Mm-hmm.
my son, his account was with
Last book, yeah.
a credit union, so he had no ATM card. Although they had ATM cards, but he didn't get one. They had a passbook, and they didn't give him an ATM card until he turned 21. They
Mhm.
said no, you can have one because now you're supposed to be able to manage money. So I've been managing money coming along all the time, and also I don't want to take up too much time, but um because my grandparents didn't work, there was no income from them coming in, but we had land, we had animals, we had fruit trees,
Mhm.
we had a lot of pimento trees, so the pimento would bring in a lot of money. Pimento would be picked, dried, people come buy it. My grandmother sometimes would she had a coal skill. Anybody remember coal skill? You burn coal.
Yes.
She would
Yes.
burn coal
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
sell it one tin of coal, and people would come and buy coal. And then we had fruit trees to sell the fruits, whatever. My grandfather planted sugar cane. He would sell sugar cane and sell yam and all that stuff. So we had
Mhm.
that we had that coming in all the time. And you could sell a little pig here, sell a goat, and you
Mm-hmm.
have meat for yourself. So we had a steady income stream rolling around. But those lessons were invaluable, and I knew how to pinch, because I was always under the fear in case something happened. Then you have to have something to rally back on.
That's right. Thank you for
I love the
Mhm.
sharing.
different perspectives. You
Yeah,
see
I
how
love that.
important it is?
Yes, love it, love it.
Yeah.
And we're
Mhm.
going to talk to Donna now in a few minutes. Viola says, Charlesy, thank God when my mom taught me how to save from my teenage. And so I taught my children the true meaning of a dollar.
Yeah.
Um,
By
Oh,
4, I
wait,
open
here.
an account, turn it.
Herman
What?
says, I started saving from we putting stamps on a card, then take it to the post office where it was deposited in the government savings bank account, then collect a new card, fill it up with stamps, and the cycle continued.
That's
The
interesting.
rich man
So now,
always
Don, so
say another day, another dollar.
same so Donna, here are our own stories. I talk about going and buying, using up the money to buy Shirley biscuit and stuff, and you've heard our individual stories. Now parents are on, grandparents, and as adults, you know, share now with us your tidbits about how we need to step up our game here, because we need help.
Well, I'm listening to all the stories, and everyone, it's always based on your mindset about money. And believe it or not, if you look in your family, if you have siblings, older, middle, small, youngest, Jen says she's the youngest. Her mindset about money will be different. I'm a firstborn. My mindset about money is different. So where you are in your family tends to also play a role in how you manage money. And also one of the things is like maybe where you are in terms of the difficulty or ease that your parents is having at the time when you were born, or when time is going, it makes a difference. For instance, I was a teenage mom. So my son and I, we grew like brothers and sisters. Times were hard. By the time I have my daughter, times were easier. So his mindset to her mindset is totally different, even although they are getting the same knowledge, right? But the way they see money is different. If you have also where you have a child, they will save every single penny, and you would have to beg them to spend. And then you have the one, you give it to them and they're gonna spend everything. And like you said, Jen mentioned that you have your friends because they know you have money. So one of the things we also have to teach is boundaries. What are the boundaries that we have in terms of money? When you think about your children, Sharon talks about as a child having that thrift club. All of those things are important lessons. It's now how do we translate this into this time? One of the things that I believe that's very important for your child is that savings account. It might not be the piggy bank, because that's the easy access, but it could be also where as a parent to say, I'm gonna open a bank account for you. I'm going to open a bank account for you, and each money or allowance that you get in, put some in, spend some, save some. This is always the matter, whether you're young or whether you're old, you spend some, save some, because as Charlotte mentioned, is that rainy day thing. You never know when the outpouring is going to stop. And you're always going to need to have something to fall back or rally back on, right? Important thing also is when they are able to get a job, let them get a job. Some people would say, oh, I'm not letting my child work because they're going to take away from their studies. But then also realize that you're teaching them skills, workplace skills.
And balancing life.
Yeah, how to show up on time, how to take orders from someone, how to manage money, how to realize that, okay, when you get paid on Friday, you don't spend it, all of it, and then you don't have anything in between. These are things that you teach your child.
Yes, Donna, that's a very valid point. And I've heard it many, many times where parents refuse. I know a mother. She actually took a second job so that her son wouldn't have to work. And he's a child. Both of them, she's a single parent. Both of them are people who love brand name stuff. And there's nothing wrong with brand name, but you can buy brand name from a separate store where sell the not so current brand name. It's the same brand name. But you can buy somewhere else. You don't have to buy the Jordans as you don't have to stay up under the line to buy the Jordans as they come off fresh off the presses. You can buy the previous Jordans. It's the same line. Sometimes they end up being more valuable than the current one, but not to stray from it.
That's why I love Ross. That's why I love Florida, because it has Ross and all those stores.
Yes, my darling. But let me make this point that I'm trying to make. This mother actually actually took a second job in order to facilitate the taste of her son. He's the
Right.
only child she have, and he's in college. And when he was going and she was fretting, and Lord, this and that, and I said, make the boy take a job. When
Mhm.
my daughter was in college, she had, when she was in high school, she had two jobs. In college, she had a job. She became an RA. She write essays, all kind of stuff to make money.
My
I
son
said, you
too.
can find a job. She said,
Mm-hmm.
no, I
Once
want
again,
him
I'm
to
gonna get a
study.
power card to plug in. So you continue.
Yeah,
Yes.
she said, I want him to study. So I said,
Mhm.
he need to learn time management skills. He
Mhm.
need to know to set time aside for studies, time aside for leisure, and for his friends, and also time for him to be able to earn. I said, what kind of husband and father is he gonna be
That's right.
down the road if he's gonna rely on a woman to take care of him? Because I said, you are his mother. You're not taking no kind of example. You taking on a
And
second job
there is
to help him,
Hold
to
on,
help
Jen.
him,
Mhm.
to help him not to have to work. And I said, trust me, these college kids, they have their schedule and they have a lot of time built in for pleasure and recreation. So I said, make him cut that time in half. You can't tire out yourself on two
Mm-hmm.
jobs because so-called you want him to just be studying and he don't have enough time to work, because you're actually harming them and not preparing them fully for the future.
And harming her
there's a
themselves,
blind
because you do have enablers,
Exactly.
some parents
True.
are
Yes.
enablers.
Yes.
Yes, so there's a
Exactly.
blind side. There is a blind side to that because you have some kids, they have to be start working from high school. And I don't think from high school, like let them do house chores and parents can give them a little stipend for for certain things extra. But for them to start from high school, and some kids cannot balance they studying, but to work and study they can't what you call it again, multitask like that. So you
Jennifer, they
have
have
some
to,
kids, they
my
have
sweetheart,
they have
listen to me. No, they have to learn. These children they are as equipped as you make them, as you allow them to be.
yeah, but
And
you
they will
take it
be
slow
lazy.
though. Some
They will
people
be
have
lazy and in your
mental
house.
depression.
Hold on. They will be lazy and in your house with multiple friends, running up your utilities, eating off your food because they have nothing better to do. You know your child's schedule. And if your child is a go-getter and you recognize that the child is a go-getter, you let them work. My daughter was working at Hollywood Video and where the party store name, party, whatever the party place
But
name.
some people, it
Party
go
City.
against them. It go
Party
against them because
City.
they become so caught up
No,
with work
But how
that
do
they
you know
forget
if it
school,
is?
no. Hold
But
on.
how
study.
do you
They
know?
forget.
There, Jennifer, there are rules. And Donna, you are the pro, you back me up, please. There are rules as far as the federal government is concerned with regards to how many hours a teenager can work. So you're not gonna make your child work like a slave. They will give them a little
Yes.
3 hours, a little
Yes.
maybe 4 hours on the weekend. They can probably work longer hours on a Saturday or so, but they get to learn how to be responsible. They get to be able to buy their own stuff. Look at Max. Max was able to buy her own school bag at an
Mm-hmm.
early age by pinching
Right.
her pennies. These children have the capability of making $15 an hour, 13, 12. Because if these kids don't work at McDonald's and these other fast food places, you are now, where is that workforce coming from? Grown people with bills, with real bills, don't have no time to go work at McDonald's because you need to go make more money than that. So it has to be the workforce for fast food places have to come from
Yeah.
teenagers,
Right.
because that money
I'm
will
not gonna
help them
I'm
and
not
it will
gonna
teach
say
them
that. I'm not gonna
responsibility.
say that because you have some. I work in the special needs area, and you have some adults who have special needs. They have to work in the. They usually send them out to work in the fast. We usually send them out to work in the fast food and stuff like that. So you have
That's a
adults. They might not
situation.
look like they have any mental issue or any disability, but they do. They will be sweeping
That's
the
a
city
different
just
Yeah,
situation,
but that's
Jen.
different. That's
but
That's
no,
different.
kind of
I
different.
know. But because Shernet said about big people working in fast food, we just don't know who is their mental capability or what they're able to do. Understand that children, but one of the main jobs that teenagers usually have is babysitting and or clean up, extra
Dog
cleaning and so
walking.
forth.
No,
And they
Dog
can do
walking pays a lot of money for teenagers just to walk dogs.
there you go.
They
I,
can make money. Look, man, there are multiple streams of income. Let us
I
not make
understand and
any
I agree with
excuses
you.
for our
I agree
teenage and our young
with
adults.
you.
all right,
There
so
are
I
let's
said
get
Donna was
multiple
going to
so
make a
let's
streams of
point.
so
income.
let's get back to Donna.
Yeah, I think Donna was going to make a
Sorry,
point.
sorry, Donna. That
That's
was
right.
just a sidebar.
No, I understand. And as I said,
Yes.
you have to know your household. Bottom line, you have to know your household, like you got to know your children.
Yeah.
That to make that decision. And as I said, when you're thinking, I think one of the things we caught up with right now in this present age, when we are thinking about work, we are thinking about these large, huge manual labor. That those days are done. One of the things also I wanted to mention in terms of this, you have to remember right now, I don't know, pandemic kind of opened up a whole stream, different ways of making money. You're finding that your young kids, we're not talking about even teenagers right now, want to open their business. No longer will you find sometime where it's gonna be a 9 to 5. And when your child come and tell you, I don't want to go to college because I want to make money this way. And they're at a young age, you're saying, I'm gonna start my
Yes.
t-shirt business,
Mm-hmm.
my hair product,
That's
my
very
all.
popular now. Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be a 9 to 5. And one of the things that we as parents gonna do from the also have to say, okay, well, you have to go to college. You can't stay in the house if you're not go to college. You're you're not where you do it yourself. You're spending whole day upon computer, but not understanding there's a shift in our workforces.
Right.
Our kids, believe me or not, are making way more money than we are right now.
Yeah, at an earlier age too.
And at a
Yes.
early- so what are you gonna tell them? To stop and go and do a 9 to 5?
Somebody's
This
phone
is
or
why
something.
this
There's
is why
something
the
in the back.
intergenerational discussion is very important, because you can learn from them also to say, okay, maybe I need to change my mindset, and also me as an adult see what you're doing and maybe tap into it with my wisdom and your know-how to come together and say, oh, maybe I always want to someone mentioned their mother was a street. Oh, some always wanted to design and make stuff. Me help you with the t-shirt. Me help you with the accounting, so that you can even make extra monies. So we have to change how we think about
Yes.
having our children earn money.
Right.
So there
Times
so we're
have
not talking
changed.
about manual labor or even right now nowadays.
But there is no manual labor, really. There is no manual labor. Hardly you can find, unless you're probably way out there in the boonies. There's no manual labor because even teenagers, they cut grass. You know what I mean? They cut grass to earn a living. They clean sidewalks, snow for
Can you even
elderly
find a
people. They
teenager
learn
to
to
shovel
make a buck.
snow?
Nobody, I'm sorry to cut you, but
Can you
nobody
even
is
find a
walking
teenager
out.
to shovel some snow?
They're not doing it. You'll be out there standing up in the middle of a snow. Back in the days, you would see them coming down the shore with a shovel and they're asking you, do you want the help? No more. They're not doing that.
Yeah.
They are not doing that.
I came down in the south in Florida, and I've seen young guys pushing their lawnmower and mowing people on for money down here. They're not working as hard as down south is a little bit different because people will do it's like if you do any job, people don't look down on you. You understand me? A lot of kids, because they have been mocked and teased and say, Lord, you work at McDonald's, you must eat up the whole heap of McDonald's food. And they stigmatize them. And a lot of kids are afraid to do certain types of manual labor or what, because of friends, peer pressure. They say, come on, come enjoy yourself. We can go party and you're gonna go to work. And the kids
That is
being,
bad company
that
right
they're
there.
stressed out.
That's
They're being
bad company.
stressed out too. I have to talk for them too. They're being stressed
That's
out
bad
and
company.
so You have to look at everything, as Donna said. You have to look on the whole family, what is being offered, everything. You have to look on everything. It's a wide topic because children are being, some of the city kids are under pressure. I'm telling you, how they look, how they dress, how they walk, how they talk, and what type of friends they have. They are in so much pressure. So sometimes they just lock in their room. And I remember a lady, her daughter got pregnant and the daughter committed suicide because guess what? She knew that it was going to be, and it happened in the city. She's going to be like the talk of the town and she couldn't deal with that. So so we can't put them under too much pressure. We have to take our time. As I said, give them small things to do. Give them, reward them, and teach them to save because they can go out there and work their butt off, but at the same time, they're going to buy their $600 sneakers and they never save. So you have to teach. It's more of teaching them the value of money.
Which is what
Well, what
Donna is.
what I saw happen.
Is what Donna is giving the tidbits for, because fine, the
Yes.
manual labor not cutting it no more. They are doing the fast-paced technological means of earning, and sometimes we say,
Right.
so what happens if there is a huge glitch one day? Remember, we had outage here in foreign. Everything
Mhm.
went black.
Yes.
Yeah, remember.
So I have said
Mhm.
to myself, fine, yes, this is the way to go. And it's helpful as adults. Our foundation can maybe tap into, which is what some of us are doing, tap into this new way of earning. But we know that if something should happen catastrophically, we can go back
We're in trouble.
to something.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
something we learned that we
Yes.
can go back
Right.
to.
Right.
you have to
So
be able to rally back.
Right. So
You have to be able
Donna,
to
yes,
rally back.
Yeah.
You
we
have to
now
be able
want
to
to share.
reinvent yourself. You have to
Yes.
always learn to reinvent yourself. And look, man, when I first came here and I was in school, I already had my daughter and I was working in Wendy's. They built a Wendy's up the block. It was easy to get to. And I was working in Wendy's. I mean, I didn't have any friends, but the few acquaintances I met, some of them, they were only too happy to know. So when me there Wendy's, they would have come and pay for a lesser burger and get a bigger burger and get an extra fries because they know I was
Right.
working there. So
Yes.
if it's a case where you are the one to employee discount, some kids get a job someplace and you're able to use their employee discount and all of that stuff. So it's a matter of, like Donna said, it's how whatever the family situation, how it's made up of, what your values are, and how you're imparting it to your children. You can't make them sit down and, because of peer pressure, that them not want to work somewhere. And if you have friends like that, them friends are no friends.
I think
to
this
go.
brings
So
this
Donna, I have a
brings
question.
Yes.
I have a question, Donna. So for these teenagers who are earning, some of them, they don't necessarily have to leave their bedrooms. They don't even have to get dressed to go anywhere, and they're making money. What are some of the investments that you would recommend for a teenager or a young person who has that that mindset to earn like
right.
that?
So it's still gonna be dependent on what they're doing, because still a lot of teenagers, anybody over 18 also are also in doing investments. Some of them know it better than how we know it, believe it or not. The ones who have their side hustles, like the t-shirt business or whatever else that they are doing, I think what you have to kind of school them on, and this is where your wisdom comes in. They have to remember the money is coming fast. So the importance, and somebody mentioned, what if there's the bottom fallout? You also have to remember you're earning money. So if there is money is being earned, Uncle Sam IRS gonna come for their portion.
Mm-hmm.
So that setting aside for money is needed for that.
Yes,
Because
a lot of them are not aware of the tax.
They're not aware of the tax, and this is where you as a
tax
parent
part,
come in and
yes.
say, realize that every penny that you earn, remember there's a tax portion that comes for it. For every money that you are making, remember to again invest some, spend some. Use back some money for whatever your business is, and then put some aside for emergency. build emergency money. Like I think Shannon mentioned, like our grandparents said, what if the meal don't come? What if the what if something happened? What do you have? We saw this during the pandemic. People didn't have savings to last them any. You're supposed to kind of have a savings that's gonna last you at least 6 months. We as parents sometimes don't have it. And the only way your child can learn how to do that is by, putting aside
Teaching
those
them.
money.
Mhm.
Another thing is also because they're having this fast-paced money, they're not thinking about, oh wow, you know what? What's gonna happen if I spend all of this in areas that I don't need to spend? There, as Janice mentioned, they're spending on those name brand stuff, then doing all of these things because it's easy because I'm making it. But what happens when you're not making it? So it comes down to saying, okay, well, here is places you can't put money again in investments. It also depends on are they worried about losing money when they put it. So they can go conservative ways like CDs, bonds,
Cryptocurrencies.
with the tax cryptocurrencies, some of it depending because again you have to be
I'm not trusting with the crypto.
Yeah, you got to know what you're doing because when you see you put your hard-earned money and you're just losing money, it might not go well with that.
Right.
So you also have to be careful in the sense if you don't know how to watch market and see what's going on, it might not be the way for you. A safer vehicle might be okay. The other day I was somewhere and they gave me a tip, and this is something maybe you as family, if you realize that when we're in an inflation, interest rate goes up. Bonds are also ways to go. You can put aside money for bonds, government Series E bond for at least maximum 10,000 a year. You can actually open one for every family member every year. In May, it was paying 9 point something percent. You put all your money in a bank, that's not going anywhere. Every time the inflation rate changes, the amount, so right now it's about 6%. But every 6 months it changes. But it's a safer vehicle than say putting in stocks and bonds. It's in stocks when it's gonna go. And
it's volatile.
And you could have these.
It's volatile.
Yeah, it's very volatile. But if you have it in a bonds, it's a government security. It's gonna pay the interest that it said it will. As opposed to if you have it in the bank account, keeping the bank account what you need for like next 6 months. But anything else, move it out. Move it out.
I have some saving bonds that I purchased for my son from he was like 5 years old, and I hide it somewhere and I cannot find it. I need to go find it.
Maybe the bank where you bought it might have record of it, but the way they do it nowadays, you go on the government website and you buy these things, and you have the accounts for them.
Okay.
And you have the accounts for them. Another thing is credit card. It's not necessarily bad to have a young child have a credit card off of yours and set a spending limit on it, and then say, okay,
I did that.
Yes, let them say, okay, if you spend past that,
children.
Yeah. Hold on, Jen.
Yeah, let them spend off of that. It's not also bad to have them, as we were talking about bills, contribute to some bills. Like if I'm paying your phone bill, give me a $30. It's something that I did for my son. Some people might say, okay, you're weird. But I mean, he was 18 years old. I have a basement apartment. And he said he wants to go there. I said, you're going to pay me rent. And people like, okay, you're going to let him pay your rent.
That's responsibility.
You are going to pay rent. And he paid rent until he left. When he left, he didn't leave and go into an apartment. He went straight into a house. Why? Because I've been teaching him over time. So listen, you're teaching them the practice of paying bills.
Right.
They don't have the practice of paying bills. They won't know how to pay bills.
Yeah.
My son thought I was getting on his nerve. But now he'll tell me that I taught him to make sure that he has his roof over his head before he eat.
Exactly. And somebody mentioned something. I think I heard one young man said to me that he is not prepared for life. My sisters are prepared, but I am not prepared. Because I think that we feel that sons are going to be okay. so we prepare our daughters. Like we talk about having your what you call the thing, money under your pillow?
Contention. Your
Your
contention.
contention money, right? But what about and then you mentioned the son who parents work extra jobs so that he could be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he's gonna be a burden. He's gonna make sure he fine. You know, people don't come at me because of it. He's gonna make sure because he don't have the discipline now, and somebody's always giving him. He's gonna look for a wife.
Yeah.
Who's gonna look to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is where we might
To
also
take care
drop
of
the
him.
ball on our sons and prepare our daughters.
Yeah.
So you know, because if you
So true.
and that is most of the case when we tend to have single parents as mothers, as you know, single parents only as opposed to mom and dad, you know. Also, I know I'm from a single parent home.
Right.
I know all
There's
the
no
skills we
balance,
can
yeah.
to make money and to save and to be disciplined. My brothers probably didn't have it, and also I'm the first. So
Right.
all these
One
things
thing
is
I wanted to share. Sorry, I
Go
wanted
ahead.
to share this. I noticed a few years ago, my neighbor, when she moved away now, but she had a son, but they moved away now. She would print she made flyers with number and his name on it and a picture of a lawnmower, and they'd stick it in everybody's. So if you wanted him to cut your lawn, she would let him cut lawn to get money. And to me, that was just awesome. I thought it was an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Because you're getting physical exercise and you're getting money at the same time. Somebody was saying, I think Jenny was saying that, you know,
Yeah.
physical work is important. So he was getting money and getting exercise at the same breath. And I mean,
Right.
No
and
gym membership.
that was a big thing when I saw the flyer. I was expecting it was me.
Yeah. I think also one of
Another
the
Because
thing
when
you
I
need
was
to
a
do
little girl,
is
there was
Hold
nothing I
on.
could do. I
Hold
would keep
on.
me off the shoes and
No, I'm sorry. What happened is that, as you know, some of you are your feed is delayed. So sometimes you have to, if somebody is about to speak, you have to
yes.
hold back because they're not hearing you, and it sounds as though you're speaking over each other, which is not intentional. So you're gonna have to kind of work with your space, how we can manage that. So go ahead,
I just want to
Max.
say that is a nice thing to do is to tap into their skills, their talents, because I know right now I am doing face painting on the side from my job, and I can broaden it a little bit, but I don't do it now because of the nature of my job. But you know, sometimes kids, this girl come to me and say, "Can you teach me to do face painting so I can do it?" You know, like sometimes we need to teach our crafts or so to our
You have to
children,
pass it
so they
on.
don't have to go out there and work. They can use their craft, you know, like a face painting, they do like a writing, they do like a things, and so you can tap into their talents for them to kind of make some extra money.
right, and that's very important because I remember I think it was Maxine who mentioned that the our parents' land have so much land, and it was farming that was bringing in the money. This is where we're talking about these side hustles. Yes, and the 9 to 5 as again. I'm not saying a person should not have a 9 to 5. I'm not one second.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're on here and you have not subscribed, liked, or shared, now is a good time for you to do so because we have so much more rolling out on this platform. It's informative, it's entertaining, and you don't want to miss it. So please like, share, subscribe. It's 11 minutes after 7 minutes after 11 o'clock. And of course, you know, we are talking about, if you just come on and wondering what we're talking about. Last week, it was Who Dropped the Ball Part 1. This week, it's Who Dropped the Ball Part 2. Let's talk money. And our guest is Donna Ferguson.
I always remember when we were going to high school, my mother would give us $4 each to go to school because we had to pay 70 cents on the bus. I mean, it was that long ago. 70 cents to go and 70 cents to come. And that's when she wasn't driving us. And most of the times we had to take the bus. And out of that $4, every day I saved $2. I was just a saver like that. And when it came on to her birthday, I was able to buy her a nice birthday present out of my money.
And
Or Christmas, I was able to have money to buy a Christmas present when we exchanged gifts in the house because it was so many of us. My mother has 11 of us.
Yeah.
And when I saved my money, I was able to buy her or the name that I pulled from the bag a Christmas present or birthday present because I'll save like that. I'll eat a ripe banana and a peanut and save everything else. And then have money to do the important things that I need done. That's how much I will save.
1 second.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just learning that because I don't eat much again. So if I eat I don't eat a lot of food again like before. So if I eat a good breakfast, sometimes I don't bother with lunch or so forth. I come home when I eat my supper and that's it. So I save back that extra money that I would buy lunch or get lunch or whatever and put it aside. So I don't really eat that much anymore. I wish I had learned it earlier, but and just can eat a banana and some peanuts like Jackie. But now I learned that food, when you're getting older, you don't need to eat that lots of food. So my food is sometimes a small. I have a sandwich right now, and I've been trying to eat it in the morning. Can't finish. So my stomach gets smaller, although I look big, but my stomach gets smaller. So, you can cut back a lot on what you eat. Some of these kids, they go to a lot of fast food and they eat a lot of fast food and it costs money for junk. You understand me? While they could have just boiled some porridge or, some simple stuff. So also, if they're going to buy something, make sure you have non-name brand blouses, non-name brand shoes that can last you a long time, so the parents need to teach them that not they will go out and buy $500 coat for their kids and so forth because they're not going to wear anything because of how they break them into it. But they just need to push back a little bit and teach them that they just need to learn things.
So Donna was giving us some tips. Continue, Donna.
Yeah. My battery seems to be going weird. Yeah. So other things that I was thinking about. I think Jen mentioned it about friends. As kids are getting older, and I guess we have to teach them boundaries. A lot of boundaries. And boundaries in the terms of like people is always gonna be. There's two parts. You have people who are givers, who tend to give, and they are the ones who want loans. I know as children, as a young adult, what I found is like somebody might come to you and say, co-sign something for me. Use a credit card and buy something for me, or these little things. We have to teach our children's when things are happening like this, for them to say, what do you look and see your 30-year-old? What do you see yourself look like at 30 years old, 50 years old, or at retirement? So pretty much everything that they're gonna do in life is gonna shape for what they're going to become. So when you start, your credit is very important. Whether we like it or not, sometimes as Jamaican, we want to buy everything with cash. But then you're also going to realize that you're going to come to a point in life where you're going to need to buy a home, when you're going to need student loan, when you're going to buy a car, those important things. And your credit might get messed up as a young age. I know that when I entered college as a young adult, the first thing that you were given is also the ability to get a good credit card. And I was spending like there was no tomorrow because to you it seemed like it's free money.
Yes.
But when the bill comes, there is the issue of paying the bills. So you also have to teach them, in part of the money management is that when they are using credit card, remembering that it's not their money. So the same way as if they were going to be spending cash, you want to build credit, but you also want to let them say, buy it. If the things are not long-term purchases, buy things that you can only pay for within one billing cycle. If you know understand what I mean. So when the bill comes, you're supposed to be able to pay it off. So in other words, spend within your limit. Because we have young people, teenagers, running up big credit card bills because they don't understand what it is spending within their boundary. And that's something that they're going to really need to know. You cannot be able to buy all these things and cannot pay your rent, your phone bill, your car note. It cannot happen. So we have to teach them how to do it. And again, it's going to be that intergenerational conversation. How did mommy do it? I remember I looked at my mom and I work way more money than she. And she could walk in any dealer and get a car. And I'm like, so how do you do it? It's going to be faith. She tell me faith, but it's also the practice of saving and not spending outside of their boundary. There's also the fact that some of us love, not only with friends outside put pressure on you, but also parents. There might be a situation where you also might be a single parent or whatever the situation might be, and you might have to go outside and hustle to also help with it also. But then also we have to teach our kids, when do we say no to some things? And being able to be okay with saying no. No,
and no to some people.
Huh?
And no to some people too, some friends.
It's family, friends, and so on, because there are people who love to give and some people who just love to take.
Love to take, yeah.
And we have to teach them, no is not a curse word. Sometimes, as we talk about we are sometimes afraid that we're gonna lose friendships if we don't do certain things. We have to be able to say, no, I can't co-sign. The funny thing is, a child sometimes is not even 18 years old and they have light bill in their name.
They have utilities, they have cell phone, they have all kinds of stuff in their name.
In their name.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking any parents, because sometimes we do with what we know how to. But then also remember that you also can destroy your children's future, spending ability, and even getting credit. We have to think about that.
May I give you an instance?
Okay.
My son was away in college, and then he left, and he was working, doing his little jobs here and there, up in Orlando. And I always told him, I said, just be careful of the people. He's a very kind kid, and he met some friends, and two of the guys that were in some hard situations, and he took them in his apartment. And it's a nice apartment. I went up there, beautiful apartment. And I keep asking him, who are these people? Are they contributing? Because he worked overnight, and it wasn't any easy task to work at FedEx overnight. When I went up there, and when he came in the morning, I couldn't believe it was my son, because he was dirty from head to toe. I had to tell him, take off the clothes, take off the shoes and everything outside before he even stepped in the house, because he was that dirty. And I said to him, who are these friends that are around you? Make sure they're contributing to your household. But they're growing up. You don't want to dig too deep into their business. But I'm just helping them out, man, until they're contributing or whatever. In the end, they left him in a whole lot of debt because they didn't contribute. Yes, they were freeloaders, and I use that word too. I said these are freeloaders because you're working hard.
Coming from a mile, and they take advantage. You have grown-ups like that as well.
Yeah. I said you don't be afraid to say no when people come around you like that, and they mess up the place, mess up the nice place, And I went up there and cleaned it out. I didn't think the place, the apartment people were good enough to. They didn't come and check the place when he was leaving. They went in there after he left it good, but they sent a bill saying that the place was left
Yeah, they
not
always
so
do
good.
that. They always do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think that was fair because I went up there, I
Don't
cleaned it
don't pay
myself,
them any mind.
I
Don't
saw
pay
it,
them any mind.
and
Don't pay them any
I didn't
mind.
think that was fair to him. In the
It's a
end,
common
he
thing
was
over in
out.
Florida.
In the end, he was out in the street. I didn't even realize that my son was out in the street, homeless.
Mm-hmm.
For about a week or so, he was out homeless.
Oh dear.
I said, no, I said,
Yeah.
you should have called me. He didn't want to call me because of pride. He was
Mm-hmm.
trying to work up his money so he could get another place. But, it was too much. And he eventually called me. I was so angry. I
Yeah.
drove up
You know
there
what
and
I
I
did?
picked him up. And from I picked him up, that was June last year. And I went and picked him up. And my sister took him to a job fair 2 days later. And he got a job on the spot. And he's been working. He's been working. It doesn't stop. It
Mm.
doesn't
How
stop
I
because
usually get rid of my son's friend. I usually just put some books on the table, read books of all different description, and then when they come up the stairs, I said, "You all can have a seat and read the books." We just see them fly downstairs back.
Nobody no want no reading.
nobody wants to read. But
Nobody
I
over the
to
house.
what
Yeah.
Donna was saying. That's why I said that to what Donna was saying. They have to also learn to say no, and they have to. But these mistakes will teach them. They're lessons that they'll teach them as long as they learn from the lessons and try not to make them a second time.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Donna, you have a few more tips before we close up.
Um, we talk about the taxes. Okay. We talk about budgeting, and one of I can't remember who was talking about when she was right. Her grandparents. She was helping her parents, our grandparents, to write how much they spend, how much they use, all of those things.
Yeah, that's
And
me.
it's, yeah, it's very important in terms of budget and having money discussions. I think some we don't equip our children to have money discussions. And if you don't plan and have discussions about money, it could cause stress. And Shona, we just was she talking about the our son, or was it Jackie?
Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie. Jackie was talking about her son. He was afraid to come back and let you know. But if you're having money discussion and let him understand, say, you know what? I know sometimes difficult situations happen.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that the door is open, you could come back to me. Sometimes shame will make people not come back to you. We have Yeah. to also, yeah, shame is gonna make them not come back to you. But also having that money discussion, we're preparing for when he's married.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna have that money discussion when you're married or before you're married? Are you gonna have the money discussion when things is going bad and you get a divorce? Or
Mm.
is
Mm.
it
Mm.
you're
Mm.
gonna
Mm.
have
Mm.
it
Mm.
in
Mm.
advance? But most people have the money discussion when things is heated and everybody is arguing and complaining.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't know how to have confrontation. Some people are afraid of confrontation. And what happens with that, they hide stuff. Even our children are taught to, oh no, I discuss that because they go rockle the boat or
And
something like that.
offend. Mm-hmm.
Offend, you're gonna offend. But it's important to, because if your well being as a child is not taken care of, you're gonna be stressed. This is why also you find some of these kids are stressed. Sometimes kids don't come to their parents because they're afraid to come. They're afraid. Do you have an open door when kids want to discuss things? Because they will quickly go outside and tell their friends things, but more than they would actually tell you,
And then they get bad advice.
and get bad advice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the things I also want to say too is, and this is the last thing, share your downfalls with the kids. They sometimes believe that you're perfect and you have it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes share some of the mistakes that you make and the
Right.
bad choices that you had
That's
made and how
important.
you get
Yeah,
out of it. Because if
I
you
believe
don't,
that.
they're gonna, yes, you have to let them know it's okay to fail and get up back. It's okay to try something and it will not work. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to lose a job. It's okay to it's not the end of the world, because this is how you're gonna
you talk about, Jen mentioned something about someone committing suicide. If you don't have an open door for discussion, the whole thing about this is not just about money. The word
Mhm.
money, it's the mindset, it's the holistic approach to it, it's the mental part of it. All of that has to be taken care of within the family. So that's
Yeah.
as much as I.
Great, great, great. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Donna. I think we all shared a part of our own story and the information that we're passing on. I'm hoping it will help all of us because every day we are learning something new, you know. It might not be what we want, but it's going to happen anyway. And, you know, we talk about the piggy bank. I have the Foxa oats, large, the Fosca oats, you know, packaging is my thing.
What? Do you save in there?
Yeah, man, I drop in stuff in the, you
Oh,
know, and
yeah, I
I'm,
see.
yeah, man, and I'm working with the savings for the year. That calendar that
Mhm.
they put out, you can do whatever
Right.
you. There are different levels
Yeah.
that you
You know,
can
I
Yes.
think yeah,
manage.
we mentioned it, but we should have I mean, I'm doing it already,
Me
but
too.
I think we should have tried to do it and see what how it comes at the end of the year. But anyway,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
one
But
one
but
thing I
would
just want
it would be also it would be
one
also
thing I
nice
just
to
go
move
ahead,
the
Donna.
money out every so quarter and move it into a bank so you can
Move
earn
it
some
in.
money.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mm.
because I'm not just
And
advertising no savings in an house. Anyway, one thing I just want to
That's
know,
a go.
one thing I
Eh,
just want to say is we also to teach our children what is yours, what is not yours, leave it alone. Because in terms of money, some of them love money so much that when they get a job in the bank or those organizations like that, what that lady did to Hussein, you know, they become like, oh my gosh, money. I see so much money, and they start to becoming fingersmiths. But I think that we should also teach our children, you know, when my son come home with a pencil, you know, he has to carry back that pencil where he find it, you know. Don't let me stay back with that pencil. Or if he comes home with something unusual
Good
that is
point,
not,
Jen. Good
you
point.
go and put it back. It's not, this girl gave him a chain for Valentine's Day. And tell him go
Yes.
back and give back the girl her chain because she
mhm.
maybe
Where
steal
she
her
get
mother
it
chain or
from?
something. And where she get the money for go buy chain for you.
Right.
And
Right.
those are the things that we need to teach our children, that what you see is not yours. Leave it alone. And a lot of young people, I have known of a few, they work in financial organization and they take money. And I
Mhm.
know that one lady at one of the
Mm-hmm.
banks, she has been taking money for years, building big buildings and all these years. From she leave high school, she was working there. So you have to teach them also how to keep their fingers to themselves and
Mhm.
don't steal.
Mm-hmm.
Money, if you don't have it, just do
Mm-hmm.
with what you have. That's
Do
it.
without
one
it.
quick
Yes.
thing about this.
Live within
Our
your
kids who are
means.
going to college going to college is very susceptible to this, where fraud. People are having them write checks
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
and they're getting
Yes.
mixed up in fraud where they're writing checks from out of people's accounts. They're getting part of the money and their names are being messed up. They could go to jail.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So a lot of
Teach
that
them
is
that.
happening to
Yes.
our kids when they go into college.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
So we want to thank everyone. As always, you know, we just bless up our audience. And again, subscribe. Remember, there's no cost to subscribe. I spoke to somebody this week,
Subscribe.
and even though we said it's FREE, bold caps, you don't have to pay anything. All we want to do is increase the numbers. That's it. So please subscribe, like, you see the little thumbs up right there, and you can share each time we're broadcasting, or, you know, even when I'm not broadcasting, there's a link there that you can copy, press it down. You know, these phones are amazing. There's not a lot of work, you know. You just press down and you just see the word copy pop up, which means you move over now to your contacts, whoever you want to share, and you press again and you see paste.
Mm-hmm.
And paste.
What easier something is that? And you just
Yeah.
paste it.
Yeah.
Then the little arrow which says send, you just
Just click it.
Easy as
Oh,
mountain
I've
too.
been
And
teaching a lot of that.
don't think these fancy features on your phone were created by any old people. Or the young people them that we're talking about created them.
Yes.
Okay? Young
They
people created
young
them.
people. And the phones are user friendly. A lot of people are intimidated. They touch something, they see it, they don't know what to do, so they panic and they fear that if they touch it. But what happens is that when you touch it again, it going to tell you something,
Mhm.
right? It not just going to land you somewhere, you know. It going to tell you something, and it can
That's
either
another,
Everything
that's
going to
another
disappear.
show.
that's another
Right,
show.
Trinette?
Yes.
That's
But
another show. Oh my
just
God.
before we end, somebody had mentioned that the grandmother did say I must split it in two. But no, somebody did get $2, and the grandmother did say split it in two and leave some for later and use the other half and
Theory,
split the money in theory in two. Can the other half go to the
theory.
shop and buy something? The woman say, well, the other half. They say, but Mama say me fi split it in a two. So
Lord,
Oh Lord.
And again,
No
when
common sense.
I'm so glad we had this conversation. You know why? Because as we are teaching them, it's not about telling and not doing the practical, not demonstrating, not carrying them with you. So if it's to open the bank, just go at the bank, go open and come back with one book and say, oh, me open bank book for you. Carry them with you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you're
yes,
doing, walk them through the steps. Don't be
Yes.
like
yeah,
the lady, the young woman my grandmother told us about, whose name was Pam. Let's call her Pam.
yeah.
Her grandmother used to have her in the kitchen with her. And as grandma is cooking, she would just say, Pam, go get the scallion. Pam, go get the time, right? So this girl is going to the refrigerator or the ice box, whatever it was, and she's taking the ingredients to her grandmother. But she not say, all right, this is how you peel the yam. This is how you either beat the
This one, you
scallion
put up
or
the
cut it up. This is how you slice the onion. None of that. This is how you knead the dough to make the dumpling. None. She was just the gopher. So she gets married, have husband now,
Oh Lord.
and honeymoon over everything. Life begins. She's
Problem.
now going to cook.
Lord have mercy.
She stands over the pot of water on the stove boiling, and the young woman is over the pot. Pam scallion, Pam thyme, Pam garlic.
up here.
All right.
No,
And okay,
Where did you get that?
my grandmother Mama Rubes
my
gave us that story, right?
No,
So
but
like
it's the
bird
truth
song.
though. But it's the truth though, because you know what? I've worked with many young, not even young people, who don't know how to open a bank account, don't know how to sign up for a direct deposit, don't know these things.
Nothing.
So it
Oh,
is important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
please, I
this
hope
is
we
a
are
good
not
That's
like
one.
wonderful
Pam.
session.
Please don't pull off a Pam here, right?
Ah,
And Pam is ready.
another
It can
wonderful
be,
day.
it can be Pam go open the bank account, whatever it is.
Yep. Pam
Right?
just cook.
There you go.
Pam just
So
open bank account.
We want
Pam
your
just steal
breakfast.
the yam.
so Donna, just share with them how, if they need information, how they can reach you.
Yes. So
Oh my
many
goodness.
might know that I'm in the financial service industry, and what I do is investments and life insurance. And we might also, what does that have to do with our children? But one of the big things that we were talking about, place to put money also. One of the things is always to start early for your kids. And one way to get money is also through life insurance. Be your own bank. And I'm not talking about no term insurance. I'm talking about what's called a whole life insurance. And what one of these things does is build cash value. And this is where you're going to be your own bank. You go there to get your money. But you have to start when you're young because it takes time to build money. So not only that, I also help families set up educational funds through either 529 or through specialized type life insurance.
Not only that, I also work with individuals who need to set up retirement savings, especially the ones who have self employed business or their own businesses and don't have it in their workplace. I do that with individuals. And among a lot of other things, which I can't mention even right now.
Okay. Mhm.
I have my Facebook, which is Donna Ferguson. That's or you can messenger me. My phone number also, which I put it out there, is 917-435-5742. That's 917-435-5742. Or any of my platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, I'm on there. Some people tired of me, but I'm on there.
That's right. That's right. So, Maxie.
Yes, I do music, I do poetry. You can find me on all platforms. Facebook twice. I have two pages. I'm on Instagram, I'm LinkedIn, Twitter, of course. And I'm working on two tracks. And I have a show coming up. The show is going to be on March 25th at Legomore Restaurant in Logansville, right here in Georgia. Tickets are available. If you want to get tickets for that show, then link me up, or you can link up the Wayne Hall Show on Facebook to get your tickets. Thank you so much for this platform, Lady D. Blessing each and every one of us here.
Okay, it is I in the pudding pan. Cake still a bake, pudding still a make. And it's Jackie. Hit me up, 917-533-2380.
Well, hello, it's Black History Month. Please support a small business. It is African American inspired gift items called Shades of Color by Churn. I can send you a virtual catalog. There's a host of great gift items for graduates, for seniors, for yourself, for little kids, for your bestie, whatever. Hit me up on WhatsApp. I can give you a virtual catalog, 646 Thank you so much.
Okay, my name is Jennifer Douglas. They call me Miss Jen, and I am a virtual tutor. I specialize mainly in reading, and although I do a little math, but especially in reading. And I'm telling you, your kids need it. Most time you say, "Oh, my child can read," and when you ask them to put the alphabet in order, they can't do it, or they can't sound letters, or they don't know the difference between long and short vowel sounds. They don't know blends. They don't know how to comprehend what they read. That means they need help. So come on, get your virtual tutoring going for your kids, 347-961-2620, or you can email me at bronxjennifer@aol.com.
And yours truly, Lady D, Denise Gomez. I am the presenter and producer of the show Inside the Zone. It's aired Mondays 5 to 7 p.m. and Thursdays 6 to 8 p.m. on Linkage Radio, and on a Saturday morning with Saturday morning runnings from 10 a.m. to 11:30. And I'm also an MC, so whether you want MC for stage show, MC for weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, you name it, call me. I'll be giving the number in a second. And I'm also a voiceover specialist, audiobooks, radio, TV. I can say anything I like and do what I want. Or I can, you know, so I can transition from one voice to the next. And I write plays, believe it or not. And I am a stage management production person. So if you want your stage to be properly managed, whether big stage, small stage for events, call me 914-304-2592. That's 914-304-2592. Or you can email me inside the zone, the name of the show, inside the zone, nyc@gmail.com. It has been an awesome morning.
Yeah.
Jackie.
Oh,
Jackie, how will you do? You're calling me about them your breakfast.
Shanti and Eliana and Natty, they're going over to the little airport nearby. They're having a big thing over there. So
Okay. And Donna, I hope you enjoy yourself this morning.
Yeah,
I
thank you
did.
very
I
much.
have to say thank you again. Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
You might be hearing from me, so just listen out.
There you go.
Okay.
And Herman says stage guru.
Okay.
yes.
Happy birthday, Herman. I
Okay.
hope you get some
Thanks
cake.
again, Herman.
All
And
right.
to all our
Blessings, everyone.
bewildered ladies.
Yeah.
Morning. So
Stay
enjoy
warm, guys. Everybody in the cold. Stay warm, Lady D.
That's all. You're going
I
to
don't know if Donna is in the
your
cold.
breakfast.
All right.
Charlotte,
Ta-ta,
all of you.
everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Love,
Bye.
blessings.
Love good.
That's all.